But remember, risk versus reward. You better be ready for the consequence of that decision when the hammer hits, because they're not going to legalize anything anytime soon in the United States. So if you're working in an area where it's illegal and you know it, so be ready for the worst scenario case. Hello and welcome to another episode of Madam Suzanne. I'm your host, Freddie Shaban. And today I'm going to talk to you about how to get out of a very high-paying adult-related sex or sexy type of job. Let me give you a brief background about me in case you've never watched any of my videos and know who I am. I was an upscale escort agent for over 30 years, 10 before the internet, and in 98 I got online and started working in this field with escorts, owning an escort agency both in Las Vegas and Orange County, California, separate times. So for about 20 years I was online with this business. Right now, of course, I'm retired, I write books, and I'm in the process of making a movie about what happened in Orange County in 2017 when I owned 12 brothels. And of course, it will end up being a Netflix series and a documentary. But so that's my background. And over the 30 years, I worked with a lot of escorts, over 10,000 of them, and I've had over 1 million clients. I can tell you that's always been the biggest challenge. In fact, even yours truly has had a hard time with it since I've been out of the business. Of course, the big elephant in the room is that the money is so damn good that you get so used to making a certain amount of money and living a certain lifestyle and not worrying about what everybody or 90% of the people are worried about, especially this is COVID and post-COVID, about bills and can I afford this? Look at this price tag, or look at this one. And that's what makes it challenging. And it is. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I never will. It's hard. It's aside from me changing my entire life because I had to, and it was a smart thing to do when everything happened in 2017. I have to tell you, this is the hardest thing I'm having to deal with as we speak, which is not having enough money to do really what you want to do, let alone, you want to buy whatever it is or do whatever it is or travel or whatever, forget about it. So I understand how it is. In my case, I quit because I had to, okay? I'm in my 50s, not today, I'm in 57. When I got in trouble, I was 53. I had just turned 53 a few months later. I got in trouble. And I did not have it in me anymore because trying to fight the government on something that should be legalized, and it is legal in many countries around the world. If you haven't watched any of my videos, you'll see that I've done some videos about which countries it's legal. It's very difficult to go against the grain in the day and age we live in. It's extremely difficult. And I could not screw up one time, and obviously I did. Now, before I got in trouble, I had quit 7 months prior, right? But then I got back into it, and that was one of the mistakes that I made. And my biggest goal in doing this video and even my channel is really not only to give us people in the adult industry a platform and a voice, but also to help everyone that's in the industry to learn from my lessons and my mistakes. So this way you don't have to learn out of your own pocket, okay? So safety has always been number one, and it still is today and always will be. So from a safety standpoint, it is a lot smarter to get in, get what you want out of it, and get out, okay? In my second book, How I Made $1 Million a Year as an Upscale Escort, I describe having two phases in this business. Phase one being going in, planning on how much money to get, for how long, and how long is it going to be to get that money. So the goals of money and time, whichever one comes first, stop. And then phase two, which I failed miserably at, which is to have that planned out of what are you going to do once you have suitcase or suitcases full of $100 bills, which presents a different type of challenge. So to quit, you're either going to quit on your own or somebody's going to make you quit, right? And if it's somebody that has a lot of power, like the government, for example, then that's half the battle lost right there already. So of course, the smart thing to do is to quit on your own terms when you're ready and when you're financially stable. And that's mainly 99.9% of the reasons why we get into the business to begin with. As an escort or porn actress, or you fill in the blank of any type of sexy job or career that you have. So how do I quit? I'm an escort, right? I've been doing this 3 years. I'm comfortable. I have enough clients and I have a good business going where I'm making X amount of dollars a month. Say you're making 50 grand a month. And which, by the way, cliff note or side note, if you're not making 50 grand a month, right? For me, when I worked, if I could not make somebody 50 grand a month, if they're working with me full time, like when I was in Vegas and I worked with everybody full time pretty much, I gotta tell you, I did not work with them because I did not see the point of having it being worth selling your body and dealing with this kind of business if the money did not justify the means. Everything that you have to put up with. So aside from that, whatever someone is making in this industry, whether it's a porn star or an escort or whatever, 3 years into it, for example, or 4 or 5 or 1 or whatever, doesn't matter. I want this to help everybody, not just one type of person. And you're comfortable. You make enough money. You've built your business enough where you know you're going to make 20, 30, 40, 50 grand, whatever it is a month. Okay. The hardest part for me was to walk away from taking home, after all my expenses paid and everything, minimum 50 grand a week. That's extremely hard to do. And believe me, even when I retired 7 months before I got in trouble, I was having a hard time readjusting from 50 grand a week to 0. That's a big adjustment. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. That's the one thing about money. And of course, greed. Is you go, man, for every day I stop, I'm losing this amount. You don't think like, I'm grateful. I already got out. I got what I needed. I got my suitcases of money. Let me sail into the sunset. No, it's like, hey man, I used to think like that, man. This week I just stopped. This last week I just lost 50 grand. I could have $50,000. It's a crazy thing. So if it was me, how would I quit? I will have phase 2 before I even start phase 1. And if you've been watching my videos and follow me on my live streaming every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you will know that we've already talked about this. But I just wanted to put everything together in this video because I've been getting a few emails about this subject, right? Well, when you have to quit, you have to make up your mind like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to be done. I'm going to do this for 5 years. Like in my case, I said, I'm going to do it for 5 years or this amount of money. And whichever one comes first, I'm done, but I'm not going to go past 5 years. And I stuck to my plan. However, I came back and I did not do what I needed to do with phase 2, right? Which is take the money and now You got to become legal, which is a whole different subject. We won't talk about that here. And incidentally, I am not promoting prostitution. I'm not promoting anybody to do anything illegal in this country or any other country around the globe that's within the ears and eyes of this video. So I'm just trying to help people that want to get out of the industry that feel stuck. And that's the biggest challenge mentally and emotionally, is to feel like you're going to be financially stuck in this job that you can't get out. And I know a lot of people like that. How do I quit? Number one, having a plan. This amount of time, this amount of money, and I'm done. Then, phase two. When I get the money, this is what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to buy a house. I want to start a business. I want to pay my student loans off. I want to, you fill in the blank. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own agendas, own goals, own planning, everything. And the most important part of this is to be disciplined enough to stick with the plan. Don't deviate, don't go back, don't make very little money and knowing that you're going to run out. That's why having a business plan is extremely important before you even start this business. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So planning is extremely important. And once, it's just kind of like drugs or alcohol or whatever. Once you decide to quit, my biggest suggestion is cut off all ties with anything that has to do with the business. I would not hang out with any of the other escorts that I used to hang out with if they're still in the business. I would not hang out with clients. I would not keep, oh, let me just keep this good client and that client. My advice is, if you're going to quit, quit. Get out completely. Not half-assed, not, oh, you know, this guy's 20 grand a month. Let me just keep him on the side. I mean, to each his own. That's what you want to do. I mean, you know me, I'm a live and let live type of guy. No judgment, no hard feelings or nothing. I'm just telling you myself what I learned. If you're going to quit anything, whether it's smoking, alcohol, drug, whatever it is, cut it out completely, move forward, change everything. And that's part of change. Change everything. Your friends, your surrounding. You might even have to change your residence. If I was doing in-calls and I decided to quit, believe it or not, I'm moving. I do not want anybody thinking about coming knocking at my door. And some of these idiots might, believe me. It's happened. So I guess the bottom line is, and I won't take too much of your time and I won't go in circles, and I could talk for hours. If you know me, you know I could talk. So I want to keep it short and sweet. And basically it's just right planning, right preparation, sticking to the plan, changing everything so you don't have to ever be tempted again. And I would make sure I made enough money where I never have to ever do this kind of work before that I did. Okay. Now, I got to say this real quick. If you love your job and you love it, fine. But remember, risk versus reward. You better be ready for the consequence of that decision when the hammer hits, because they're not going to legalize anything anytime soon in the United States. So if you're working in an area where it's illegal and you know it, so be ready for the worst scenario case. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care how good somebody's screening system is. They have so many resources and they've tried so much, and I could not even tell you or begin to tell you how many different techniques they could use. They have the money, they have the resources, they have the time, they have the manpower, they have everything. Trust me when I tell you, and if you don't believe anything else I'm telling you, trust this. If they want to get anybody, You hear me? Let me repeat it again to make sure you got it. If they want to get anybody, okay, including you, they can. Take that one to the bank and cash it twice. Best of luck to you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. You can always send me an email to madamsuzanne2020@gmail.com. I love you. I want you to be safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and send me any question you want. And you can always ask me live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want me to do something else or talk about something else, let me know. I hope this video helped a little bit. Thank you so much. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.